Hello, everybody, and welcome to Silent Podcast, the place where everything but silent. I'm your host, Isaiah, and I'm here with my two co-hosts, as usual, Geneva
Hey, how's it going?
and Sasha.
Hi, y'all.
And if you watch the Total Drama Podcast, I am bringing Josie again. Josie, what's going on?
Nothing much. Thank y'all for having me. I'm so excited to be here. We have so much to talk about, so I'm really excited.
Now, we are here to talk about episode, I believe this is 10, right? Yeah, this is episode 10 of Temptation Island. We are literally about to finish. This is part 1 of the finale. So we are this close to finishing out the season. Now, before we get our insides on it, Josie, when I reached out to you last week to come on here, you said you didn't even start the season and you literally binged the entire thing before coming here. So what are your initial thoughts on everything that you've seen before we get to today's episode?
Well, so I texted Isaiah throughout a lot of me watching it. And the men on the season are big flops, in my opinion. The men in the house, the men in also like the men in the show. I find a lot of these characters, I'm going to say characters, but people, kind of like not as likable or approachable as other seasons, as in 1 and 2. So I'm really excited to talk about the conversation because they're just so chaotic. I can't. So I'm really excited.
All right. And Sasha, Geneva, how did you guys feel about part 1 of the finale?
All I felt was, why are there 2 parts to this? Because this is impossible. Like, why? Absolutely ridiculous. I texted our group chat while I was watching saying, like, all of this episode is fluff. I can't believe they're making us watch 2 of this. But here we are podcasting about it. So I guess they win. Okay, I guess they win.
They want more money. USA wants to profit as much as they can off of this. And so they're going to stretch it out as long as they can.
Yeah,
So
they tempted us.
Why.
Yeah,
there you go.
They tempted us for sure.
I can't. All right. So now going into this, before we even get started, like Sasha said, there was a lot of fluff. I'm going into this, so it's not a lot to talk about here. I mean, the bonfires honestly were more of the interesting parts of the episode. But real quick, Geneva, do you want to talk about anything uninteresting that happened in the first part?
Sure.
Because...
So Mark Wahlberg, our favorite guy, our favorite resident TV show,
our
reality
favorite
TV therapist. He comes to the guys' villa and the girls' villa too, and he basically is like, unfortunately, I'm here with difficult news. It's time to say goodbye to the people you've been hanging out with for this period of time. But I'll give you a moment individually with these people. And of course, everybody is like, oh no, I thought I was going to have an extra day or extra moments with this person. So Corey expressed that he thought he was going to have extra time tonight and tomorrow, but is grateful for Amanda and the experience that he had with Amanda. And Amanda wants to pursue a relationship with Corey, but it's ultimately up to him. Any general thoughts on Amanda and Corey?
I'm sure Corey's very sad that he's losing his emotional support animal, but outside of that, like, it's literally like watching paint dry. Like, poor Amanda. I actually do feel bad for Amanda because I think she really likes him, but this man just used her and was like, thanks for giving me the confidence. I'm out.
Yes, I feel that. And Julian, he said that basically when Kristen is wearing that engagement ring, he's going to be thinking of Tula.
What is wrong?
I thought was so strange to say, but apparently Tula has taught him how to communicate better. And
not much better if he's saying this stupid stuff.
I was like, why are you thinking of this girl from Temptation Island? Wow. You're potentially engaged or married to Kristen. You should not be. That's a little concerning.
And the person that he didn't even spend most of his time with. Like, let's not forget Chicken Gate Maya.
Yes, never forget Chicken Gate Maya. Oh my gosh. Which will forever live on. Thomas will forever miss Sophia, but of course it's not goodbye forever. They're going to keep in touch and they're not going to say goodbye, but he's blessed to have her here and he knows he'll see her again. And
now, real quick, Josie, what's your opinions on all these people so far? Since you just watched all this,
I think my frustration with the men in general, it's like these poor women are here to find love. That's like their main objective. And I feel like the men on the show already had two mentalities. Either they were coming in and they were just like, let me have fun. This is actually like Bachelor in Paradise. Or more so like, I just want to get this over with so I can go back with my girlfriend. And I feel like there was no growth in general. And so watching these conversations with like notably like Amanda being like, hey, like I actually like you a lot. Like it brings me joy to uplift you, which I also find a little weird because I feel like there's no chemistry, like you said, like literally paint drying on the wall. So it's like you hear these emotions and you're like, first of all, we didn't even see those. Second of all, like it feels like they're trying to grasp on anything, and I feel really bad for the women because like these men clearly don't care. Like maybe Kendall, but we'll get into him. But
yeah,
even
so
then it sucks.
Oh my god. Do you have favorites, Josie? Or favorites is a strong word, I know.
Literally, because I think my favorite people didn't even get that much camera time. Like, for example, I really liked Cowboy because he called Aaron out. And Aaron was like not receptive to it, but I was like, hello, Cowboy did not lie once. He kind of ate that up. Who else? I do like Erica, but I'm a little bit disappointed. And that's really it, because this cast is really
unlikable. I agree.
This is the weakest cast selection they've had, I think, definitely in modern Temptation Island.
Like they're so unlikable, yet I'm still drawn in. I don't know how they're doing it. Because like, wow, it's just so bad. It's so bad. But
production, man. Production.
It's just the concept. I think the concept is just intriguing.
I'm personally just pushing myself to see how more they're willing to do to get on my nerves. I don't know. It's just like no, like I think some of them have grown on me. I will say that. Like I think Erica's grown on me. I said Erica. I mean, I've always liked Erica. But Aaron specifically has sort of grown on me. I didn't care for her at the beginning.
Can't relate.
But listen, I'm not doing to the end of the episode, she grew on me. But at least she kind of strayed away from this person who was kind of like self-absorbed. Her only connection was like soccer and a lot of other cliche things, and she's kind of like done a lot of self-reflection. And it's like, yeah, I mean, like on the personal side, like I think that she kind of bothered me in a point where like it seemed like she was always kind of jumping the gun, but like she seems self-aware enough to like acknowledge that, and she's really trying to change that, and specifically for her relationship, where beforehand it was just kind of like it was her way or the highway and all this other stuff. So I guess that's what I mean when I say it in that fashion. Like I said, she's not my favorite, but I said she's grown on me in it, and that's all I'll say about
a
that.
Pimple. Like, what do you mean grown on you? Like what? Like, oh my God.
Look, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying.
Sorry.
To be nice.
Okay, I'm gonna get all the hate comments today. No, like I cannot. Anyway, I understand. I hear you, Isaiah. I'll say that.
But at least in terms of like, at least the rest for the general goodbyes, of course, we see Kendall and Alexis say goodbye to each other. Kendall says they're gonna be good. Every single day he's grown to love and cherish and appreciate different parts of her. She said, maybe it's a good thing she didn't put up makeup today. And I guess they're both being emotional, like, and he's sad to see her go because it feels like they've known each other for such a long time. And she just didn't want to say too much because she didn't want to cry. And and then Mark basically sends them out. And similarly, we see the same thing at the girls' villa. The girls come back from their dates and we see Mark basically tell them, y'all need to say goodbye. And so Blake doesn't want to compare himself to Tom, but he knows that he has showed Chelsea like what else is out there. So I guess now that we are here and we have some laughs because I love it. What are your thoughts generally about the Kendall Alexis goodbye and the Tom and Chelsea goodbye? No, I'm kidding. Chelsea and
Sophia.
Blake. I can't even. No, I mean Chelsea and Blake because he was talking about
right.
Tom and comparing himself to Tom, and they didn't think it was going to be this hard. And Chelsea wished they had more time. And Blake says to be strong at the bonfire, and Chelsea didn't expect to make a connection with Blake, and etc.
These people are just so whack. Like I don't know, man. Like if there's any burner accounts coming around here, don't hate me. Like I mean, I'm just a viewer, but it's just like, oh man, like I've been saying this the whole time, man. Like I'm not a fan of a lot of people in this case. So you know what? That's just me. Let's pass that positivity. Sasha, how did you feel about this? Because I don't want to talk about it.
The positivity comes to me. No, I really feel for Kendall. No, Alexis. Oh, you got me slipping. Alexis. I feel bad for Alexis because I truly think she cares for him. I think she's not seeing big picture or she's not grounded in reality in that, like, look what he did to someone else. He will do that to you. He was here for a good time, not a long time, and that's it. And like you got caught up, my guy. Like I feel very sad for Alexis because you could tell she really cares for him, but for me, just the way he acted with Nicole, the threesome, right? Like, to me, it was a wrap since then, but she just wasn't willing to admit it. And I think he, like, tried to break down a little, right? Like, Josie, I would love to hear what you think, but I think he tried to break down a little his, like, walls. I saw the vein popping out of his forehead where he was trying not to cry, but sure, Kendall.
It's okay. Kendall is like a robot to me. Like, I just feel like every time I'm listening to him, like there's no emotions, no nothing. And even when it gets to the point where we're in confessionals, I don't even know if I can believe him or not. Like that to me is like, this is the one time you can truly just be upfront and honest. And as a viewer, I'm like, yeah, like, I don't even know if you're being upfront and honest with so-called me, the viewer, the audience. It freaks me out. And the thing about Alexis is like, is she not seeing the red flags? Like, there's been moments where I've listened to him talk to her, and he's not saying, I'm breaking up with Erica. He's never once said that. Like, he's never uttered those words. He's been like, well, we live in the same city, so, like, it works out. And I'm like, same city. Like, I get that, but, like, hello, there's a whole other person at the end of this journey, and he hasn't outright, like, told her, hey, like, I'm leaving with you. And I feel like at this point, usually people who are in this situation know if they're going to be like going home, and literally no one knows what's going on. Like and like even with Blake, first of all, Blake is like, I don't want to compare myself, but let me compare myself.
Oh god.
And I was like,
right, I forgot about that.
Every time he tries to compare himself to Tom, it's crazy. But this is the one thing I was saying in the last episode, Josie, that I think that a lot of people are doing is they're like, okay, here's my plan A. I'm going to get back with my, significant other I came here with. And then plan B, if it doesn't work out based on that conversation, then I'll contact that person later and I'll leave.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but like even at that point, like if I was Alexis, I was like, I'm not even choice number one. I'm not a choice. Like if I'm not,
might be.
Literally,
Nicole's ready for that test. She's ready for that.
Nicole literally said, I know he's gonna hit me. Because he's a cheat in the ass person. So yeah, I'm sure he will.
That, like, to me, that's crazy. Like, I feel like there's so many red flags that she's not catching up. And like, I don't know if this season they'll do it, because normally, like, if someone chooses to go with their couple, we don't really see the other person. So I'm interested to see if we'll see Alexis's reaction or if that's just going to be until the reunion itself. But it's just really weird. And like, even Blake and Chelsea, it's like, I don't see it. Like, I don't see them lasting that long. They don't give me anything. They're like, I like snowboarding. You like snowboarding? I like snowboarding. Oh my God. Like, it's,
Blake's so manipulative that I could see like for the clout, but if he starts seeing like, oh, actually we're not getting that much clout and this kind of isn't worth it, got it, bye. So it's interesting because I know that Chelsea is the like main and then Blake's the single, but the way they edit the show, Blake gets all the talking points when it's about him and Chelsea, which is also really weird. And I think really irks me about this situation is like he really does all the talking for them. And I don't like that either. And I just watched this movie. Rewatched. He's just not that into you. And I feel like they should all watch that before going on Temptation Island. Like these women, especially like a Chelsea or Alexis, Erica, where like you can get like pause and understand like how you deserve to be treated. And like, he's not going to change for you. Like that's just who he is. Like he's just not a great person. And the same with Blake. Like there's a reason why other people call him like Blake the fake. Like, come on.
Yeah, the fact that she's still with him to this point, because at one point she was all over, I'm blanking on his name, but he was really cute, Tom, but he was also weird.
Oh, Chef Tom, right? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
The men this season, Kate crazy, but I was like, you knew in your heart that you shouldn't be with Blake, and then you continue to pursue him. Like, I feel like she's kind of setting herself up for a heartbreak, but I digress.
Real quick to touch on the Kendall thing. You hit on the nose when you said she's basically telling Alexis unintentionally like I'm not going to say it out of my mouth, but like your plan B if this doesn't work out, so like I'll hit you after you know. And I think what I've been seeing from Kendall these last 2 episodes at least, like ever since the video message episode, that the human side of Kendall is like attempting to come out a little bit. And it to compare it to something, it's like, let's say you got a test, right? And it's like at the end of the week, but you just procrastinate and you don't do it the entire time. And then last second, you're like, oh wait, I gotta study the last night before the actual test. This is what Kendall is. He played around the entire season and it's about to be go time. And now he's trying to catch up and make up for all the effing around he's been doing. And he's like, shoot, I messed up with my girlfriend. Shoot, I messed it up with this potential girl who I could leave up the island with. I don't know what to do. So it's just like Kendall is starting to get reality hit at him. And I think we even saw during the bonfire ceremony, he didn't get the type of reaction that he expected, So I think Kendall is having a real human moment this episode, at least, and he's finally getting a taste of what he put out in the universe.
Yeah. And so there are just like 2 more things I want to talk about before we get to Aaron and Corey and Eric and Kendall. So I just want to quickly at least touch on Erica. So like the Erica saying goodbye and the Kristen saying goodbye. So Erica says that she now needs to think about what to say at this last bonfire. She really doesn't know what she's going to say, but she says that it's not a goodbye between her and Jesse. No matter what happens, he's going to be an important person in her life. And she feels like she's had more questions about herself in this process, and Jesse has helped her understand those questions. And then the other point within this is that Kristen similarly thanks Lex for helping her out and having an impact in her life. She wouldn't have expected to learn so much about herself, but she's ready to see Julian. So do you guys have any thoughts about these goodbyes?
Yeah. I think the one goodbye also, I can't remember if we touched on too much, but was Thomas and Sophia also. That was another one where to me it felt like he was breaking up with her, but then he said, if we leave as friends or lovers, we're going to have a connection for life. Like Chelsea not going to allow that if y'all are together. So again, delusional. And then the others were kind of just boring to me where everyone said the same thing. It was like copy paste where they were like, I grew a lot, thank you. I grew a lot, thank you. I grew a lot, thank you. Like, sure, but it's more than that. And I think Erica actually had the most genuine one with Jesse, where where Jesse, I think, was able to have actual feedback for her and like actually like have a reflection versus the others where it was just so surface, and I could at least tell.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Oh, and Go ahead,
Well,
Isaiah.
you good. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I think Erica and Jesse, the connection for that out of all the couples, even though they've had, I feel like the shortest amount of time to grow, seems like the most genuine, the most passionate, the most something there. And so I felt like their conversation was the only conversation other than Thomas and Sophia that I felt like was gonna be interesting to see moving forward. And I think I think ideally Erica kind of felt like she was afraid to walk alone. I feel like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of these people feel like they have to leave with someone. And I think it's way more empowering to like have your head up high and say, like, I'm leaving by myself. And so even then I was hoping that if anything, I feel like it would be a little too rushed for her to just go with Jesse, for example, if she chose not
Yeah.
to return to Kendall.
Absolutely.
And so I didn't get a hint of the idea of like walking alone, which I thought would have been like really necessary for Erica. I feel like even Aaron should have walked alone, but we'll get to that point. But in terms of Thomas, I feel like he hasn't grown at all. Like the main problem that Chelsea has said is, hey, like your flirty personality is like a lot, and it's kind of like it makes me jealous in some type of way. And like Thomas is upset that she kissed Blake that other episode. But I was like, last time I checked, if my boyfriend had his hands on someone's butt, I'd feel very uncomfortable exfoliating and stuff like that. And I just feel like Thomas, he's like, we'll be friends, but like if I were Chelsea and I were to see everything that transpired and you want to tell me you want to be friends, it's like you learned nothing about the issues and why you were there in the first place.
Right.
So I was just so confused by Blake. I was like, is Sophia his first choice or not? Like I felt like I can't even tell. It's like a Kendall situation
but
where I'm like,
Thomas.
yeah, like I just can't tell like in terms of what exactly do you want? And like you haven't
I
learned
think
that
he
also.
wants Chelsea actually. And I don't know if he will say it, but I think he wants Chelsea because he could have very been like, Sophia, like, I'm into you, I'm excited to see you, period. But he said the connection, again, very like calculated, right? Like he was like, the connection will be there regardless of if we're lovers or friends, blah blah, it doesn't matter. So like I think it might, to me, it depends on what Chelsea does, basically. Like if Chelsea decides to stay with Thomas, I can see him being like, well, maybe let's do it. But and maybe I'm completely wrong, and I just don't want Sophia's heart to get broken because I like her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious on your thoughts on all your thoughts, like in terms of like, have you felt like the men really wanted to get back with their girlfriends, or do you think this idea is out of comfort? Because to me, I feel like they're like saying that these girls are second options, but I feel like none of the men, other than Julian, have proven that they wanted to fix their relationship and take the steps to get to that point. Whereas all the other men have just had fun and not shown.
They're afraid of being alone.
So I think obviously Julian, yeah. I think Thomas. I said Thomas. Actually, no. I think Corey. There you go, Corey.
Oh,
I do
Corey,
think
I
that
keep
he
forgetting.
wants to be with Aaron, but solely like if she really changes. Like I think he's in the mindset now where it's like he wants to be with her, but like if they don't leave together, then he's also fine. And I think she's on the same type vibe, and I think that's because they both went through self journeys and they've individually grown as people. Like they, out of everyone, I think actually took they actually took advantage of this experience and actually grew as people. So I think that they both need more self growing, and I personally would have both left alone and then come back outside of the show. But I mean, it's fine. I think Thomas and Chelsea both wanted to split up but didn't want to do it on national television.
Oh yeah.
They were waiting for an excuse and they both got it. So, I don't think they wanted to be together. I think Kendall, strangely enough, wants to be with Erica in his own sick, twisted way. It doesn't make sense. No. And
no, it does. Don't
he
you want someone that does cooks and cleans for you? Like,
no, because he has higher expectations. Don't you remember? I'm just saying.
That's not the truth.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like in his own sick, twisted way, I think he does want to be with her. And he just wanted to, he just wanted to hoe around for a summer.
100%.
But I don't think. I mean, well, I'm going to leave that post show stuff.
Yeah, he just can't expect Erica to be at this super high, unattainable, like unrealistic standard if he's not.
If those Instagram pictures are true, I'm just saying.
No,
was he wrong?
I'm not. No. I think you're misinterpreting what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that he can't have all these high expectations for Erica if he's not gonna if she's not allowed to have those same high expectations of him. And similarly, he has cheated on her. He has done things that aren't really great for being a partner in a supposed committed relationship before Temptation Island and clearly during Temptation Island. So I just feel like he's asking a little too much of her when he needs to be doing more. So that's my opinion on that, at least. So lastly, before we actually get to the two main conversations, I just want to bring up some of the comments and thoughts that Aaron and Corey and Kendall and Erica had before going into their bonfires. So essentially, Aaron feels like she's been questioning how she spent her time here. She forgot there were things that Corey needed to work on, although she had been blaming herself for all the things she did wrong. She came to Temptation Island looking for clarity in her relationship and constantly projected insecurities in her relationship onto him. And she realized there were things that she needed to work on too, and she started blaming herself for all those things that happened in her relationship. And then she forgot about the things that he did and that they came here to work on. She says that she can't, they can't leave here together if they happen to be in the same spot that they came here in. So she needs to see not only, growth obviously in herself, but growth within him, so that if they want to move forward as a couple. And then Corey basically says they can't go back to where they were before. So he has a similar mindset here. He came to Temptation Island to show Aaron that he could get outside of his comfort zone. He was unsure of who he was. He saw Aaron pick Griffin, and then he really worked on discovering himself and growing himself, and coming here put things in perspective for him. And basically, sometimes Aaron can bring him down, but it made him realize they both need to grow as individuals. And Amanda made him realize that he can emotionally be connected with other people, and he would be open to dating Amanda if him and Aaron weren't together. And then the last 2 points were Erica. So Erica doesn't know where she wants to start this conversation with Kendall. She knows the concern of breaking the cycle of issues within her relationship. She was unwilling to open herself up and be vulnerable because she didn't want to disrespect her relationship with Kendall. Seeing those clips of Kendall in that threesome and having sex with Alexis really allowed her to immerse herself in the experience. And the last thing, she really wants us to fall in the trap. And Erica realizes that she deserves to be treated better based on her experience with Jesse. Her journey was tough, but every moment on this island has led up to this final moment with the bonfire. And she will make sure it is known that she's in control. And last but not least, Kendall mentions he has had difficulty with complimenting Erica. He's decided to take on the full experience of the island and what it has to offer and take advantage of exploring these women here. He did not expect to find a connection here, but his connection with Alexis allowed him to be emotionally vulnerable, and having a threesome was not worth all the drama he learned.
Up. He's such a liar. He literally, everything that comes out of his face is nonsense. And I don't understand how anyone doesn't call him out. Does he have friends? Does he have people that care about him? Because this is ridiculous.
Maybe not.
And the nerve to be if I could do it over, I would change it. Lie. You just realize that you're gonna look real stupid and really bad, and people are gonna hate you, and that's why he decided to change. So literally every time he talks, it's so annoying, but it's fine because he actually moves the show forward versus like the first couple that just kind of like I literally put in my notes, Erin is annoying. Why does she keep repeating everything? Because it's just like we get it. We literally get it. But at least, I appreciate the drama, the content Kendall gives.
Absolutely. But yeah, lastly, he basically felt like the energy he felt between him and Alexis was real, but not getting a message from Erica actually was a turning point for him. He realizes there were changes he needed to make, and he hopes Erica can forgive him for what he's done. And that leads us to the Aaron and Corey bonfire.
Yeah, I think the only thing we missed is that Kendall kept saying, "Trust me," to Erica, and then he was like, it's not Erica, oh my god, to Alexis, and he's like, "Trust my judgment. Just trust me." This man's judgment, we're supposed to trust this man? What? So he, like I said, it's just, I can't believe that people like this exist. I know they do, but like, wow. Just wow.
Trust him. I don't know. Like, Kendall would do Kendall. Like I said, I will.
No, Kendall would do anyone.
I mean, you're right.
I will hold all personal opinions on couples until I see the reunion. There you go.
Okay, that's fair. Well, then we can talk about Aaron and Corey. Aaron has that anxiety and is scared to be vulnerable and says, it's okay to fully be loved back. And Corey says his dream is to leave the island with Aaron, but there's always a possibility they could leave alone. And then, of course, Mark is like, let's bring her out. And he doesn't really say anything. She's like, hi.
It was so awkward.
So awkward. Oh my god.
Oh, I kept wondering why no one's running to hug each other. I was like, if this is a moment, and I've been crying. Okay, think about it. Erin's been crying for several episodes now. She's been defending her man left and right, center, even though she should be taking some responsibility.
It is a little awkward when you just spent weeks seeing your boyfriend talk about how shit you treat him to other women.
What is the lie?
It's not a lie. I'm just saying it's going to be awkward. Until you talk it out,
I felt like it was so much more awkward to just like walk and be like, hi. Like it just reminded me of like the Wendy Williams entrance with no noise.
Do you think production does that though? Like to be like, don't like hug each other because they want to build it up, right? Like to build the suspense and awkwardness as much as they can. Because to me, so a great example, actually is not Aaron and Corey because I think we knew they would get together, but Julian and Kristen, right? Like we most likely believe they'll get together, but I could see a moment where at least Kristen is like, you know what, actually I'm gonna do me. So if she hugs him right away, what's the point of the rest of the conversation?
There you go.
Okay, fair enough. Well, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they want that suspense. They want us to be kind of like the way they ended this episode. We were like, what? But there might be a different outcome from what we actually see at the beginning of the next episode,
They're trying to tempt you to stick around to the end,
Exactly.
Now here we are.
Temptation Island.
Tempted.
Yeah.
I was like, can we talk about how much makeup Mark L. Wahlberg wore? Like,
real quick, Mark is really mean. Like, I think he is so, I don't know, he's a good host, but like, all right, Mark is like the good cop and bad cop at the same time. Like he's good and he's like very encouraging and gives great like advice, but then he's like, oh yeah, but maybe you should try cheating or something, like try the process, man. Like I'm like, yo, like I don't know.
Well, he has to promote the process, or nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, like I don't know. I wouldn't be able to have like a genuine conversation. Like you wouldn't be a good therapist. Like I feel like
he's not a therapist.
Well, that's why
he portrays himself as one.
It's like Dr. Phil though. Like they're not.
Isn't he a love expert?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's like when you're like, are you the one? And they're like, these people are absolutely your perfect matches, and you're like, what? Like, why was I even with this person.
Mark is
Especially
like Jeff
Uche
Probst.
and what's his name? I forgot the guy's
Oh,
name.
I know you're talking about.
Clinton.
it could be
Clinton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Uche
still
and Clinton,
together.
right? They're married.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Yeah, and they were not a perfect match. Stupid.
Mark
Shut
is
up.
like Jeff Probst, but like more edgy. You know, he's like, I gotta add the edge
No,
to
I
it.
really feel like he's also had it with Corey because I think he was really mean to Corey, but like same because I think Corey, like how younger women or younger girls like need to have those affirmations in the mirror because like
Yeah.
you need, it's a like you need it because society doesn't do it for you, blah blah blah. Corey needs that, and I don't mean it in a shady way, but like I think like he needs a like you're strong, you're amazing, you're a man. And if he doesn't get that, he's gonna revert back to like unfortunately Aaron's like sad
Like,
puppy.
And although
Yeah.
Isaiah feels like Mark is mean, I think Mark is trying to be realistic. I think
I don't think
Mark.
he-
Thank
well,
you. I
I
agree.
think Mark.
I think he's two-faced. I think he's two-faced.
Oh,
Because
cap.
look, when it's
Mark
just
is trying
look.
to. Well, first of all, I think Mark is trying to bring good TV.
That's a yes.
That's fair.
job.
That's fair. And that's fair.
Two,
That's fair.
I think Mark, like, regardless, he, I think, forms in a sense like kind of a friendship with these people in a sense. Like, if you think about it, like he
How
gets
much
to know
time
them
did they
really well.
spend together? Like,
I
honest.
mean, they talk a lot in depth about their lives, and obviously they cut out stuff that we don't see.
True.
So I don't think he would want. I think because he got to know Corey, he wouldn't want Corey to go back into the same cycle again and be stuck in a relationship with Aaron if it's not going to change. So I think he's just really trying to make sure that these people think before they say that they're going to get back with somebody again.
No, Mark is fine. I'm not.
I don't think Mark cares.
Seriously, yeah, exactly. Like he's a
I
host.
disagree.
This is his job. But look, real quick. He does go in situations, right, where like he'll go with the girls and he'll say one thing about like, oh, you need to like, this guy's bad. Like, you need to work with your self-confidence. And then he goes to the guys villa, like, hey, what's up, man? Like, come on. That's what I mean. But
well, he has to do that.
It's his job. It's his job. So,
I truly believe that he does not give two F's about like what happens to Corey after because he's like, I got my check. Like I think he cares about them in the moment, and then it's kind of like those friendships that you never like forge that well, and then you end up moving away. It's like that where it's like, oh, that was nice, and then you move on. So I think Mark cares for them as people, but I don't know that he's like riding for them. Maybe that's what I
mean, either way, he's most likely the outcome would potentially be for Corey, where he would either want to be with Aaron or be with Amanda, based on the way that Corey presents himself. So, like, for either option is a win, I think, for Mark.
Yeah,
because then like he either ends up in a new relationship, and Temptation Island can say they were part of that love story, or they kept the couple together and strengthened the bonds. But I think, he asked the questions, one, to get emotions definitely out, because I'm sure he's also probably an exec producer. But also I think too, like, even, the check is important, but I also think like he probably at least knows like these people are human, and like if they've been together for a period of time, they shouldn't be together even longer if they, so I think he's really just trying to get people to think as they're in that process.
I think in like to add on to your point, I think he just calls it how he sees it, to be honest. Like, I think even like I tweeted about it and a lot of people like responded to me because they were in agreement. Like the moment that Aaron and Corey got together and Aaron was speaking, even the way she was talking to him, like she wasn't yelling. Like, I don't want to say she was yelling because I feel like it's a powerful word to use, but it was like, I don't want to say condescending, but it's even the way she was talking to him, and Corey was just kind of like, obviously you have to sit there and like being silent, but even his body posture changed. And I was like, yo, like, are we going to go back to the power dynamics again? Like, are we not going to like go back? Obviously her tone of voice did change. She started getting a little bit more emotional and crying and stuff like that. And it felt good. But I was like, Mark called it out. He's like, are you just gonna go back to like cowarding in the corner again, all over again? Like, are you just gonna go back to that? Like, are you just going to revert to your old ways because it's easy? And I feel like that was needed. And I don't think that was mean at all. It was like everyone was probably thinking, tell. Like, he was like, do you think you're intimidating? And I was like, wait, that's a good point. Because none of the men in the house, like, some men were like not willing to approach her in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that was things that needed to be said out loud to continue the conversation. But they should have really just left alone. Like, I just can't.
I feel like it would have been better for them to leave alone, and if they really wanted to date afterwards, like spend like another month alone, and then you guys could come back. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to be together by the reunion. If they are,
interesting. I think they will. You know? Yeah,
I think they will be. I have no reason to think they won't be at the moment.
If they're back together, I don't think there will have been changed because from my perspective, like Corey literally needs like confidence and like he needs I think the love language he looks for is affirmation, and Erin does not give that, unfortunately. She's very close guarded, obviously with valid reasons, and Erin needs to grow up because there's a lot of things that she's carrying in the past into relationships that are really a detriment. So I just feel like if they are together, it wouldn't have been because of like they grew. It would just like go back to what it was in the island. They just know that they love each other a little bit more.
Yeah. And I think I just want to highlight some phrases and the things that they said, because I feel like those are revealing to what, I think all of you guys have been saying is the foundation of this relationship to begin with was never that great. And I think that there are a lot of things, like Erin does claim that she's going to work on things, but there are really a lot of things that they both need to really work on with one another so that this relationship can come out strong and be long lasting if that's what they want. Because Corey was saying things like he feels unloved, underappreciated, like he's had to walk on eggshells. You should not have to walk on eggshells in your relationship. Like I would hope that you would not be having to do that. He didn't want to come there initially. He had a breakdown when he saw her with Griffin. He was scared, that Erin would fall in love with him, that he would lose her. But then he started breaking through emotional barriers. He learned to love himself. He said he made a connection, found Amanda who filled his cup up. I don't like that phrase. It's such a weird phrase. I don't know. And now he supposedly knows what he brings to the table. And he basically needs her to meet him halfway. And basically, he needs Erin to be open to changing for the better. And Erin said a lot more and had said how the connection with Amanda annoyed her at first, she noticed and acknowledged how much he opened up so quickly. And she felt like she was carrying the weight in their relationship and making all the hard decisions. And so being here allowed her to look in the mirror and realize that she's blamed him for a lot, and she needs to stop comparing Corey to the guys that she used to date. And she's constantly been waiting for Corey to hurt her, which is not fair. And she admits that. And I think that an issue is that she hasn't been fully vulnerable and open with him. The fact that he doesn't know about a lot of her hurt and past traumas and things like that. And of course, she's entitled to tell him what she feels comfortable with. But I think that's probably an underlying of the issues is how can he empathize and understand and support you if he doesn't know about any of these things that she's experienced in her past. And that's going to help them ultimately grow. But she does reveal that things on both ends were physical within her past relationships, and they were toxic. And she has a lot of anger towards people who get close to her. And she mentions her best friend passing and how that's affected her. And Corey does admit, he's like, give me some of that weight too. Like, you shouldn't have to carry all the burden.
I'm going to be honest. This whole Erin and Corey segment was so boring. Like, I feel like, and it's not their fault, but it's just like, I feel like they've been waiting so long to say these things, and I mean, good. But I think it's unfortunate as a viewer because I feel like I've seen Erin specifically, but Corey as well, say this to us as the viewers like 1,000 times this season. And I think we even commented on this. I think Abby said this last week too. It's like every time we see Erin, it's like a repeat of like the same monologue speech, and I think it's really because they're just ready to go, and they want to work things out, which is why I really did hope that they just stayed home and just had this conversation there, because it could have saved them a lot of time, but it's just like like I've heard this like the last like 5-6 episodes.
Yes.
I wish
It's
too.
like,
I really do wish as
bored.
well. But I
Yeah.
guess this is the thing. It's like Erin had to be put in a position where she was put in front of other men to realize that she had a great guy in front of her, and that she needs to not carry all the burden of her past into this situation, and be able to use her significant other as a support system, and not tear him down and build him up, and vice versa. So I wish they had this conversation, but it seems like it really needed her to be around a guy who was another soccer player for her to realize, oh wait, Corey's great, and maybe I shouldn't date the same guy that it never worked out with, right?
It turned to I'm just so bored. Yeah, I can't figure.
Well,
it's
we
just
can move on.
It's good. I'm just saying. I think going into this, it's just like we got one couple has a cheater, one couple is going to propose, one couple has two people who hate each other by now, and then it's just like Erin and Corey. And I think that's why. But I mean, good for them. I feel like when we see them at the reunion, I do think they're going to have the most positive outlook. I look forward to seeing them. I'm glad that they worked out their differences and they left together. They look happy. I just hope they actually change their ways. But no, I was happy for them.
They're just so vanilla. Like, I never met someone like Corey that I was like, wow, like
he's bad TV. He's bad TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's a good guy too, but
he was brought there for Erin, who's supposed to bring the TV. But
Erin was supposed to be.
Erin
was supposed to be. She was about to be Kendall 2.0 this season. I was like, oh,
that's what we thought she would be, and then turned out to not. Yeah,
Corey crying. I was like whoa,
Corey and Erin didn't. I say Erin, Corey and Erica specifically did not need to be in Temptation Island. Like they could have been.
Erica was like, I physically showed him how much I cared about him. So no, listen. Even she kissed Jesse, so we can't. No, don't dog on her.
I was happy to see her. I'm just saying.
Corey is literally
such bad TV. I think
telling you, I never seen someone that like is
so
just
boring.
so boring.
And that's it's nothing against it. He seems like a very good guy.
He's a good person. I would want to be his friend. I just mean like but watching him on TV, my God.
There was like a good 4-episode run where we got no Corey content this season. It was just like
I have to hope that in the future when they are casting couples for Temptation Island that they at least choose like couples who messy. Have both people. They don't even need to both be messy. I just need the both people to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because like at least if one is messy and the other one is messy, like I just need substance from the other. Because it's like that's not what we're getting from Corey, unfortunately. Seems like a nice guy, and I'm and I just for TV purposes, he hasn't really brought us much. So
there was no misses in season 3's casting at all to me. Like I said 3. Oof. 2.
Yeah,
season 2's casting was season 2's casting on both sides, on the singles and on the couples. Like that was a great season.
Season 2 is good.
And then we just got here, and I think it's probably unfortunate that season 2 was so good that this one had like expectations. And then you come here with expectations, and then like you're like, But I mean, I think that's the only reason. But I mean, good for them. Hopefully they work things out. Yeah.
And now we have Erica and Kendall.
Oh, the cliffhanger. Ooh.
Yes. Apparently, Kendall says coming into this, his goal is not to be apologizing at the end of the day. He had a great connection with Alexis. He needs to see a lot out of Erica to see if this relationship will work with her. And Erica feels very confident and nervous because Kendall's so good with his words and she doesn't want to fall into that trap again.
Is he?
No. But apparently to some of these women, like Nicole and
he has the
Alexis,
mist,
I guess.
man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so that happens. So Erica's gonna do her best to protect herself with an armor, but she is so nervous, and Erica basically wants to articulate to Kendall the progress that she's made so far and how he's made her feel. She's feeling anxious, scared, etc. She knows there's so much ahead for her, and that is what is getting her through this entire journey. So yeah, so I guess we can either talk details or talk generally about this conversation. Are there any thoughts generally, or do we want to get into the deets and then talk?
Go ahead, Sasha. You're good.
No, again, like, he is such a just bad person. Like, I just can't believe how he lives and moves through the world, like, thinking that the world revolves around him. And just the confidence, the cockiness of, like, I'm not gonna apologize because what I did was we said no rules and I lived my best life. And like, you literally dogged this girl out on TV,
Yeah.
and like, I can't imagine like being in this room with him. Also, like, I've been rewatching Love and Hip Hop, and like, maybe that's why, but it would be on site for me if this was like my partner. Like, a shoe would get thrown. I think I would ruin his life. I'd be like, that's why you have a receding hairline. I don't know. I would make up some nonsense. No, like, he doesn't. Kendall has, like, fine, but I would just like make up. Like, I would try to find their insecurities and just go in to be like, who do you think you are? Making me look crazy, because in reality, you are blank, blank, and blank, whatever. I don't want to say, like, because I mean, Kendall looks fine. He has a nice body too, but I would be going in on every insecurity I knew, because no, like, she's so nice. Why is she so nice?
I think what's frustrating is that he has no remorse whatsoever. That is what is mind-boggling to me. Okay, you slept with someone, you want to get back with your ex, okay. But to have no remorse for your journey, I mean, it was one thing to see him sleep with Alexis. It's another to see a threesome, then to hear him talk about moving in together. It's just like, there's so many things that he did. And for him to be like, I'm not going to apologize. I was just doing the journey. I was just living the life. Like, I think that's such BS. You can do your journey and not sleep with everything that is interested in sleeping with you. Okay? Like, there's literally no excuse for his behavior. And the fact that he keeps saying that we came into this, we said no rules. We said that we're going to try to do this to the best of our abilities. I think that's bullshit. I'm sorry for cussing because I don't know what your channel is.
You're fine. You're fine.
But it's so annoying, especially as a black woman, to see another black woman like that. Like, that just makes me angry. I'm like, you dogged her, and the fact that you have Alexis waiting by the phone to get a text, not even a phone call, a text. You have another one thinking that you're going home with them, and then you want to come here and be like, man, if she's not about it, like, at least I did the experience and it's not my fault. Like, it's like, he's a terrible person. Like, he's not grown at all. So,
and the audacity to ask her about, like, did you do anything?
I was gonna get into. I'll wait until we go into the details of it, because there's something.
Okay, I will go into the deets so that we can analyze this and nitpick Kendall's statements and arguments and what they say. It's all right. So Kendall. We start with him. Well, he knew that when he first came, the goal was to leave together and work on themselves individually. One thing he noticed early was that he had an issue opening up emotionally. It was almost like he had an armor. There were times you could pull things out of him and he wouldn't give all of him. He had a connection with Alexis. She would dig deep. She even asked him how he could prevent himself from doing what he did to Erica, to her emotionally. And he doesn't want to make excuses and wants to be a better version of himself and not be afraid. He has a bunch more to say, but he's going to let her talk. Which I was like, okay.
I'd be in jail. I truly would be if I was ever around someone like this. Like, Let me talk. Oh my god.
I was, I've like I said, I really want to hold so many thoughts until the reunion because it's like, all right, going into this, I got everything I expected. I expected Kendall to try to finesse his way through this. I expected him to play like if you know who Takashi 69 is, I expected that spiel, like, oh, I did this because of da 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 da, and try to play it off. That that's what manipulators do. And Erica, she's going to have her queen moment. I expect her to say no. I'm not leaving the island with him. I expect Kendall to go first on purpose, saying that I would like to leave the island with her, and then she's going to be like, no, and that's cool with me. But it's like it's bittersweet because it's like this specifically.
Oh,
so it's like I don't know how to feel about it. I want to be like, go Erica, like you did that, but it's like I don't know.
Wait, you have to explain what you just showed everyone.
What? They're both in the same area. This is post show.
Yeah, this is post show. Yeah,
I don't
same
know.
door, same chair,
door, same chair.
Same
and unless
location.
there was some cast photo or something, I doubt it. So it's just like I don't. It's bittersweet. I want to be like awesome, like I love it, but it's like if this is real, like I'm wasting my time. That's
why I'm worried. That's why all these positive things I want to say about Erica. I'm like, I don't know.
I'm mentally preparing myself for disappointment early, so when it is the reunion, I'm not like, dang it, like I had no idea. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm already accepted it. I've accepted that if they aren't, they could possibly still be not together, but they got together at one point. And if that's all I need to see, that she at least entertained it again. That bothers me. So it's like I'm gonna wait.
I mean, yeah, and we can't unfortunately blame her. I think statistically, it takes a woman 9 or something tries to leave a toxic, abusive situation. So not here to diagnose, but unfortunately, I think she needs a tribe around her. And it sounds like he successfully isolated her family from her, because she told Jesse, right? That he said, my family take up too much of my time. So it's that he has successfully isolated everyone that maybe gave 2 shits about her. And she has no one else because of him. So I just feel so sad. I hope she goes to therapy. I really do, because it's awful what he's done to her.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned about isolation, I think even more now, depending on when they had shot the show and the global pandemic, especially, it might be even more of a difficult situation for her to up and leave and go somewhere else. And so, that comfortability, that might have just brought them back together. So, I mean, obviously they were traveling in that photo, but still considering, I think.
But Temecula,
it's hard. It's hard to date during this time. It's hard to do a lot of things during this time. So I could easily see well, okay, I guess I'm just going to go back with Kendall, which I hope not. But at least some of the things that she did say, at least in this conversation, seemed promising. So, she said that when we first came here, she thought she was coming to regain her confidence, to prove to you that she could resist the ultimate temptation. But then ultimately, she found out she was here for different reasons. But then this is what was disappointing. She's like, you made me feel unworthy. You made I wasn't worthy of unconditional love. You made me feel insecure. And I've learning that I have a gut instinct, and I do deserve someone who will give me that unconditional love. And I hope everything you did over there was worth it. And Erica asks a really great question and is like, what do you feel like you've worked on during this experience truly?
Again, shoe at head. I just shoe at head. I don't want to ever say violence is the answer, but how? Just how?
And basically he's like, I put myself out there emotionally, figuring out what I needed to do. And she's like, so how in the world did sleeping with two people help you emotionally? And I was like, thank you, Erica. Thank you for calling this man out because he deserves to be called out. And she's like, it wasn't like you waited and made a connection. And basically, she spent so many nights crying. She can't figure out why he did that. And then you continue to do this to her time and time again. And she basically said, you disrespected me and the relationship we had. And, I was actually slightly surprised that he didn't really try to defend it as much. In the moment, he basically was like, you're right. It's a lot more than a poor decision. That's not how I operate or want to in a relationship, which I thought was an interesting comment. I did get engaged in things I shouldn't have. There were so many days I was thinking about what you would have been feeling. And I was like, that doesn't sound true, because if you thought about how she was feeling, you probably wouldn't have done that. But he's like, I can't even think of a good response or excuse because there is no legitimate reason. So what did you guys think about his response?
Like I said, they got their moment. She's going to make him look like a fool. They're going to get back together and they're going to be like, I already know what.
He's changed and I have grown.
Yeah, I don't care. But.
Yeah. So the other thing that I want to highlight from this conversation was interesting was basically the whole question about, did Erica resist temptation, and how, well, she did kiss Jesse, but it was on the last date. And it seemed a little weird that Kendall was asking that question as if he wanted to basically put some sort of blame on her. And she's literally like, you can't ask me, sit here and ask me this question when you literally had, sex with another woman, had a threesome. So it's just like plain ridiculous that he was trying to use that as a way to make her feel guilty.
I honestly don't think she just kissed them. I'm pretty sure there was a clip of them waking up in the same bed and
she
wearing
said
lingerie.
Physically. Hold on. I wrote a quote
she said
down.
something about physically, getting physical.
Yeah, physically showing him how much I appreciate him.
Yeah,
She's literally said that.
It was giving me Beyonce Dance for You vibes.
Literally.
If you know. If you know, you know.
Well, I'm just going based off of what she said. And regardless, even if she did anything, she is very justified to do whatever she wants.
100%.
Yeah.
Because at the end of this day, this man went beyond the boundaries of their relationship and disrespected her. So it doesn't I feel like she unfortunately felt like she had to censor herself in terms of what she might have done with Jesse because of the potential response that basically Kendall would have had, which kind of annoys me, unfortunately. But
I do think it's going to come out probably at reunion, so that will be interesting. But I think I do think that she did not get tempted until she was provoked to. I think Kendall here was honestly doing the Chelsea and Thomas and Chelsea. Their strategy. They're basically looking for reasons to justify what they did. So be it. But that's basically what we're seeing here. Like I said, Tekashi 6ix9ine tactics over here.
He's just snitching on himself on damn.
It's manipulation 101. He's gonna be like, yeah, I did this, but if you did this too, doesn't that make you a hypocrite? That's all that's going on here. And I'm sure this is the same exact thing he did outside of the show to be like, maybe she did. Let's say she did sleep with him. She's gonna be like, I'm sure she probably told him that if they had a conversation and going to be like, oh, well, we both did this. Let's just come back together and start.
We cancel each other out.
Exactly. That's exactly.
They are not the same.
They're not. And, we'll see. I'm going to hold my tongue until next week.
Show the picture again. No, I'm just kidding.
But, last but least, of course, Mark L. Wahlberg basically tells Eric and Kendall, which essentially leaves us on a cliffhanger, whether they're going to leave the island together, whether they're going to realize this isn't a thing anymore and they want to leave alone or leave with another person. And basically Erica says, I love you so much, and then to be continued.
No, she's walking alone for sure.
Yeah, no. It's gonna be like, I love you so much, but
this might have been the fact that we only got one couple's answers this week. That means that all three of the ones that we're going to get next week are spicy. So I think that's the only reason they left off on a cliffhanger.
You better hope.
Well,
like,
I think they want to end. They want to end with Julian and Kristen because there's going to be the engagement, the happily ever after.
Do you think she breaks up with him?
I don't want to see that. I want to see the toxic.
Well,
I don't know.
We'll see what happens, but that's why I think that's how they're framing it within the story. They're probably
they need to
end
end it with Chelsea and Thomas. I want to see
that's going to be. That's going to be after. I think that's going to be first. After
she's going to leave. She's going to leave with Blake, and then he's going to leave with Sophia, right? I mean, but it's going to be so funny because we're going to get to a reunion, and they're going to be like, "Yeah, I ain't work out."
I think they're going to leave together.
I think they're both going to leave with two separate people.
I think they're going to leave together, but then I don't know that they'll be together. I think they're going to be like, but I checked her phone and she's still texting Blake. I checked his phone and he's still talking to Sophia. That's what I think, at least. Just the vibes I'm getting.
I won't rule it out. Who knows? I mean, they could have some very heated discussion and somehow
that's what I mean.
But you know what? It's kind of like at first I saw hope potentially, but now I'm a little like I don't even know, because I feel like the way Chelsea's going to respond, it's going to be something where she's going to give him a really hard time. So I know that for sure. And then he's probably going to be like, you broke the contract, the relationship by cheating on me. And so we're going to see some of that. Definitely.
Yeah, he's going to cry. She's going to hug him. I love you. I see what you mean. I see why you act this way. I'm also like that. Blah, blah, blah. Back together.
Yeah, I think Thomas, I will say that I feel like Kristen and Julian, sorry. I think if they're last, she's going to say yes. If they're first, she's going to say no. That's what I think. In terms of the order, because I don't think they would give a yes proposal and put it first on the first thing that we see coming into next episode after.
I also though do wonder, would they have shown us like him asking her dad for permission and all this sort of stuff? Only for her to say no.
She ain't gonna say no on live TV.
Yeah, that's why I just feel like that's why I feel like they're gonna end up to engage, and I think they're saving that one for last to end with a happy ending.
I think if she does say no, it'll have a lot of impact because of the fact that he went to Iran. Like, it's like the build up, the anticipation. Like, I feel like obviously, like, you want to close the show on a good note. But I feel like if she says no after all of that, like, it would make sense. Like, she's been hesitant. I find it weird. Throughout her whole journey, there's been no proof of her wanting to say yes. She didn't want to say yes before she got on the island.
Thank you.
Why is it that all of a sudden she's in a villa with a bunch of boys and then they come back together and she's just suddenly going to say yes? Like, no, she has trauma she has to literally sort out. Like,
and I think
national television,
and I think
a ring wasn't there.
Oh,
I think
you will say yes to Julian. Yeah, okay. Well, at least someone will say yes to Julian.
I'll say yes. I mean, I'm married, but wow, Julian, he's
but the thing is I think this is the thing. Similarly to how like Aaron and Corey need to talk out situations, I think it's very clear that like Kristen and Julian really need to talk out conversations. Like the fact that a lot of their conversations or issues in the relationship have either been talked about with Mark or like the person they've been confiding in on the island and never had with each other is such an issue. They really need to, like, communication is key in a relationship. That's what people always say, but it really is important. And the fact that they have these such important issues and challenges that they dealt with in their life, and the fact that whether it's the cheating or family death, etc., they haven't talked about them. They haven't had these conversations. And so I really am hopeful that, I guess, I mean, unfortunately it would have to happen on TV, but they're going to happen here or next week. And so I think if they're able to get through those conversations next week, that would probably be the thing that would get her to say yes. But otherwise, if they don't have those conversations, then I couldn't see her saying yes. But otherwise, that's where I think the yes to the proposal would come from.
Yeah.
I feel like it's such a bad thing. Like, she's never wanted to get married with him at this point in her life. And I feel like, I don't want to call it manipulative, but like, she's not ready. And now the cameras are there, the lights are there. She can't really say no, if I'm being honest. Like, imagine he gets down on one knee, how bad it's gonna look. She's gonna be like, can you please stand up and close the thing? It's bad. I feel like she would have to. I'll let you have your counter. I feel like she would have to. Even if she did say yes, they wouldn't get married for a long period of time, and even then,
already been together 11 damn years.
11 years.
That's what I'm saying. If they were gonna get married, they would have already been married at this point.
I agree with you. I agree.
Like, I'm a hopeless romantic, so yes, I would love for the happy ending, the flowers, the kissing, the exploders, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, but like at the end of the day, like, it's been 11 years, and the pressure's on, so she can't really say no. So she might even break off the engagement. Who knows? We'll come to the reunion. She's like, actually,
and that's fine.
I'm not even engaged to him anymore. We decided to take a break.
She's the one who got them both to go to Temptation Island, first of all, right?
Yeah.
I think her big test was honestly, I mean, I know the brother storyline came in later, but it was initially was because she said that he cheated years ago, and that was bothering her all these years. And honestly, I think after she sees that he's faithful after something like this, it's like, I think she'd be more open to it. And I think I do get what you mean by the whole manipulative thing. I think if he does do it, like the proposal thing, it'd be probably after they both give their answers.
I would
assume
that he would want to hear, like, if he said like, I want to be with you, and then she said, I want to be with you too, then I think then at that point he would do it. I don't think he would just do it unless she already said, yes, I'll be with you. That's probably the only instance where I could see him doing it during his yes, I think.
I just feel like that to have that conversation, I don't know how long the conversation really is because it's so edited. So we really don't know if it's like 5 minutes or if it's an hour-long conversation. But I just feel like even if they do agree that yes, they want to be together, I still don't deem it appropriate to have the proposal when there's so much to unpack after you leave the island. Like, if anything, I would have rather him propose during the reunion where they've had time, they've seen some clips, they know what they're going through, and and then establish that. I feel like it's a little too soon, even though it's been 11 years, but it's like, I feel like they're growing into new people.
Yeah.
And like, even to your point, Isaiah, like, she came in to see if she was cheating, and now she's realizing that there's trauma that she needs to literally deal with beforehand. So it's like, she'll be a different person after this too. So that's just me.
All right. Well, do we have anything left to talk about with episode 10, part 1? Or are we all good here?
No, I think we are good with that.
All right. Well, with that is our recap for part 1 of the finale of Temptation Island, which will be back next week sometime on the daytime on Wednesday to talk about part 2 with Abby. And you know, she was going to be on tonight, but she was like, I am so irritated with these people, and she didn't want to talk about the episode. So, you know, you'll see her next week. But there you have it. Thank you everyone who was watching. Please, if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe, and follow all of our new social media pages. We have a new Twitter, silent_podcast, and on Twitch and YouTube, we are also still Silent Podcast. So please, if you may, please support all those pages, and like I said, subscribe to our YouTube account as well as follow the Twitch account. We support everything that you guys are doing, and every little bit helps, and we are very, very, very excited to what's to come to Silent Podcast. tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow, Thursday. Oh, I think that is actually no challenge tomorrow, right?
Yeah, there.
Cut?
So we do it on Fridays, but it releases like 12 tonight, technically. Yeah. So it's
all right.
the episode is up. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Challenge tomorrow. I was about to say off day tomorrow, but I guess not.
Yeah,
all
it's
right,
off day for podcast. Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. Josie, second time this week. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. We're gonna probably have Josie come with some more stuff, but there you go. Josie, where can people find you?
Oh, yeah, all my handles are the same on Twitter, and on Instagram as well, potentially YouTube later down the line. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, and thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate having these conversations with y'all. Like, it was so much fun. And it's nice to put like faces to Twitter users because I've seen y'all on the TL a few times, so it's cool.
All right, Geneva, how about you?
You can follow me at Peace Love Jen on Twitter, Instagram, etc. I tweet all about reality TV. Recently today I was tweeting about The Circle US. Lots of drama in the second set of episodes that were released today, Wednesday. And you can catch me and Sasha coming up soon talking about the Challenge All-Stars. And be sure to follow and support Silent Podcasts on all of our platforms.
All right. I'm actually excited to watch Carrie's Circle thing because I'm not watching Circle, but I saw a lot of tweets about it today. I was like, ooh, apparently it's not something not good. I don't know.
No
anyway,
spoilers. I haven't seen it.
I'm nosy. Okay. I don't know what's going on, so you don't got it on me.
Me and Jen do.
Yeah, I was like, no, they're watching.
But Sasha, how about you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at funsize_04. I also tweet about reality TV, and I'll be on with Rob Has a Podcast tomorrow covering their Thursday fake eviction, I don't know, episode live. So join me there as well. And of course, Challenge All-Stars will be talking about that. And, we usually end up sprinkling a little bit of current challenge as well. So the finale, we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So join us then.
All right, and lastly, like usual, you can find me at 8Ball Bangers on all socials, but mainly Twitter. Stay away from my IG. No, I'm just kidding. But you can follow me on. You can follow me on that stuff for constant updates with Silent Podcasts and Twitch streams and all that. I've been playing a lot of Overwatch. I was playing Among Us with Chanel. Chanel says she wanted to do a podcast about Dead by Daylight with Abby, so keep a lookout for that.
Let us know in the comments if you want to watch it.
But there you go. But yeah, until next week, 2 episodes left. We got the regular finale and then we got the reunion. But until next week, we will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.